That's the title of my message to you this morning. Ask your neighbor, a golden calf? These are people who have seen God perform signs and wonders in their midst. These are the people, as Deacon Neil was praying, who were under the cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night. They were baptized into Moses through the Red Sea. These are people who have heard God speak to them as a man would speak to a friend. These are people who have been commanded in the first and the second commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make for yourself any graven image. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. So how did we get from worshiping Yahweh here to worshiping a holy cow, excuse me here, a golden calf over here? How is it possible to drift from worshiping the one and only true God? One moment. Oh, you're not hearing me this morning. The same people, after the crossing of the Red Sea, Exodus 15 tells us they were dancing and singing praises to God. Verse 11, give it to me, verse 11, you're doing well, Natalie. It said, who is, like we were singing this morning. It's unbelievable. God leads us when we're singing song. We don't just choose songs haphazardly. Sometimes the Spirit of God will just bring us a song, and I won't even know that we chose that song, and it just go well with the message. It's unbelievable. We were singing, there's no God like our God this morning. They were singing, who is like you among gods, O Lord? The answer is what? Nobody. Who is like you? Majestic in holiness, awesome in praises, working wonders. Somebody help me out. What's the answer to that again? Oh. Everybody say nobody. Yeah. Maybe we should get Melasma to come and teach us how to do that one. Nobody. One moment, these same people in Exodus 15 are singing praises unto God, and the next moment in Exodus chapter 32 they're bowing down before a golden calf, talking about, this is your God, O Israel, that brought you up from the land of Egypt. Really? Really? A golden calf? Oh, do you see how ridiculous? And do you see how ugly things can get so quickly when you think you know God, when in actuality you don't really know God? You simply know about God, and simply knowing about God is never the same as knowing God. One moment you're on fire for God, the next moment you're stone cold. I mean, how is it possible? How is it possible to drift like this? There's a lesson here for us, church. Lest we become like them As Paul warned in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 6, Paul warned that we should not crave evil things as they also craved. So, how do we get a golden calf into our lives without knowing it? For the remainder of our time, let me share with you 2 dangers. I could give you many, but only 2 from this text. 2 dangers you got to watch out for. 2 dangers you got to watch out for if you don't want to make a golden calf that you begin to worship. Are you ready to receive this, church? Wilma, are you ready? You stand in danger of making yourself a golden calf. Number 1, when you look up to a man instead of to God. Let that sink in. I say you stand in a grave danger of making yourself a golden calf if where your focus is man and your focus is not on God. Look at what these fickle people said to Aaron, their assistant pastor. Verse 1. Come, make us a God who will go before us. As for this Moses, now is this Moses. Now is this Moses. As for this Moses, the man who brought us up from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. Wait a minute. Moses is only been gone for 40 days. Mom, for 40 days. And they can't wait for him. But they've been enslaved in Egypt for 400 years. And they can't wait for 40 days? Does that remind you of somebody you know? I'm not even going to bother you with that one. They know where Moses is gone. And church, in spite of the fact that Moses was not there at the foot of the mountain with them, all they needed to do was look up. Oh, somebody's not listening to the word of the Lord to you this morning. What did you say, David? Psalm 121 verse 1. I will lift up my eyes to the mountains. From where shall my help come? Somebody tell me what the answer is. Verse 2. From who? I can't hear you, church. Your help comes from who? Everybody shout the Lord. Your Moses may be gone, but somebody here, I came to tell you like I know it. All you need to do is look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. He's promised you, I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Oh, Lord, help me preach this message like I know it. All these Israelites needed to do, all they needed to do was look up. And they would have seen the cloud by day. And they would have seen the pillar of fire by night. Was still standing around the mountain. And on top of the mountain, which are visible manifestation of God's presence, is Shekinah glory. When you set your mind on looking for only what you want to see, in the process, you'll be blind to what you really need to see. The obvious. It's like Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. These two buddies went out camping one night, and after a good meal and a bottle of wine, they crawled into their tent and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, Holmes was awake and nudged his friend. Watson, look up, and tell me what you see. Watson replied, I see millions and millions of stars. What does that tell you, Watson? Asked Holmes. Watson pondered a minute and he said, oh, astronomically, it tells me that there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Astrologically, I observe Saturn is within Leo constellation. Chronologically, I think it's 3 a.m. in the morning. Meteorologically, the air appears to be dry. So I suspect that we would have a very beautiful day. Why did you ask? What does it tell you? Sherlock Holmes snarled at him and goes, Watson, you idiot! Someone has stolen our tent. See, when you are set on seeing what you want to see, you'll be blind to the obvious. And when you can't see your Moses, like the children of Israel, you'll be looking for something like a golden calf to replace God. Lifeline. But we must understand, church, that whether the pastor is present or not, the ultimate leader of God's people is still God himself. Hello, somebody. God is still the omnipresent God who will be with you at every hour of the day. Can I get a witness in this place? So don't look for me in the middle of your night. Don't call my house at 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. I gotta sleep. No, call on him. He neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The one who keeps Israel neither sleep nor. I'm only your pastor. So be careful in your expectations of Moses. Whoever your Moses is, whoever the Moses is in your life, be careful of your expectation of Moses, that you don't make him your God. Who am I preaching to in this place? Because if you don't stand in a grave danger of looking up to a man instead of looking up to God, then you need to watch out for this second danger. This one might be where you are at. Maybe the first one is not where you are at. You don't make any man your God and any woman your God. But maybe the second one might be where you are at. Number two, you stand in grave danger of making yourself a golden calf when you become a crowd pleaser instead of a God pleaser. Ask the person next to you, are you a crowd pleaser? No, don't tell them to mind their own business. If they look like a crowd pleaser, tell them don't be a crowd pleaser. Don't be a crowd pleaser. Aaron was a crowd pleaser instead of a God pleaser. He was the high priest. He was supposed to teach them the truth about what God's word says. You shall have no other gods before me, or thou shalt not make a graven image. Instead, our assistant pastor, Aaron, gave in to the pressure. He compromised. And he said to them, verse 2, bring me all your gold and all your bling bling, and I will make you a holy cow. Good Lord. It sounded like Oliver the jewelry buyer on TV. Oh, for your gold, cash for your gold. Nothing new under the earth. There's nothing new under the heaven. You see, if you don't want to drift from worshiping Yahweh, one moment you're up on the mountain worshiping Yahweh. If you don't want to drift from worshiping Yahweh, one moment up here, and then down here, you're bowing down to a golden calf. The next moment, here's what you need to do. If you don't want to find yourself in that situation, you need somebody in your life who will be bold and strong enough to tell you the truth. Some of us don't want to hear the truth. No. We just want the pastor to party cake us, and we want the pastor to just feed us some sweet dessert. And we don't want to tell people the truth either, because we're afraid we would offend them and they'll be mad at us. You know, our friend comes to us and asks, how do you fancy my new dress? You know it's the most ugliest thing you've ever saw in your life, that could make a dog bark if you ever go outside in that dress. But because you can't tell the truth, you say, oh, it looks nice on you. Liar! You don't want to hurt our feelings. I'm going to come to that. Oh, you like my new hairdo? You answer, girl, Jennifer Hudson ain't got nothing on you. Liar! You know how much it cost Jennifer Hudson to do her hair? And you're going, Jennifer Hudson doesn't have anything. And you know that's the worst hairdo you've I'm teaching you some truth telling here. You know, here, let me answer Uncle Tim. You know, you don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be nasty in telling the truth either. Because some of you think you're God's police officer and Judge Judy all at the same time. No, you're not. Oh, Pastor, I'm just being frank. No, you're not. You're just being mean. There's a way to tell the truth, and you can tell it in love. As Ephesians tells us, speak the truth in love. But there are also all sorts of ways to say no without compromising your morals. All sorts of ways. Paul Harvey shared a story here once about this airline stewardess. This is hilarious. Who was being harassed by this drunk passenger in the first class section, and the guy kept making passes on her and telling her that he wants to get to meet with her, and she should come into his hotel suite after the shift, and they can have good times together and all that. And this stewardess managed to shake him off, only to run into another man at the back of the plane, acting the same way, trying to find out which hotel she's going to be staying at after the shift, and how they can get together, and making all these suggestive remarks. Boy, I didn't know stewardess would go through all this in the plane. And they do. People just hitting up on them. Anyways, finally the pilot announced that the plane will be landing. So once again, the guy in front, in the first class, offered her a key to his hotel suite and begged her to meet him there. To his obvious delight, she smiled at him and accepted the key and put it in her pocket. Then she walked her way back toward the back of the plane, cleaning up all the leftover garbages and all that. And when she got to the back, she took the key out of her pocket, and with a big smile, she handed it to the other guy who has been hitting on her. And she said, now, don't be too late. Oh, somebody here, I just wanted to tell you that there are all kinds of ways to say no without compromising and without being a people pleaser. And you need to learn how to say no. Come on, let's practice all together. All right, we're going to practice it. At the count of 3, we're all going to say no together. 1, 2, 3. No. I can tell some of you, you didn't have any problem doing that. Oh boy. Others of you, I can see the pain of saying no in your eyes. Because it's hard for you to say no. It's hard for you to say no. You just want to please everybody because you don't want to make anybody mad. No. If you don't want to build a golden calf, if you don't want to be a golden calf worshiper, you may have to say no at work tomorrow when the pressure to compromise comes knocking at your door. Who is this message helping? It would come, and God is going to test you. Are you going to be able to say no to that golden calf? One thing, you can always count on God to tell you the truth. He will tell you as it is. He's going to tell you committing adultery will ruin you, and it will ruin the lives of those you love. He ain't going to tell you you're okay when you're not okay. No, like a good doctor, God is going to tell you a golden calf is cancerous, so don't fool around with it. Maybe this is going to be a good series after all, because one thing is sure, in knowing God, we get to know who we are too. When you get to know God, you know who you are. Most of us are running around in this life and going, what is my purpose? What do I exist for? Well, if you don't know your purpose, all you need to do is go back to the manual. Go back to the Creator God. If I don't know how to operate a machine, because some of those manuals, they're in English, they're in all sort of language that they might as well be written in Chinese. I can't read them. But if I want to operate that machine, I need to go to the owner's manual to know what the owner's manual say. In knowing who God is, you get to know who you are. That is going to be the bonus of this series. But don't turn your nose up. Don't turn your nose up yet at these Hebrew people for making a golden calf. Because we all have our own Canadian idols too. Oh, we see other folks in certain cultures bowing down to a little man with a round belly sitting on their shelves, and we go, how disgusting! Can they see? He doesn't have eyes, can't see. He doesn't have mouth, can't talk. He doesn't have ears, can't hear. And we shake our heads. But don't be too fast in judging. Judge Judy. Don't be too fast in judging Judge Mattison or Mattis. Mattis, is it Mattis? Yeah, Mattis. Mattis, yeah. Oh, I know you won't go home after church and bow down to a man with round belly sitting in your living room entertainment set. But don't make me start talking about your Canadian idol right now. You know, your Canadian G god of money. Money, money, money. You know. Your little G of work. Your little G of work. Walk, that you don't even have time to come to the house of the Lord. Oh, don't let me get in that Kool-Aid. Your little G of relationship. That person you cannot let go. So God can get the glory. I'm not even going to bother with your Canadian idol this morning. Alcohol, sex, pornography, power. Put it up. Let me define for you what an idol is, and then I'm done. I'm almost finished. This is what an idol is. An idol or a golden calf is anything that you yield your strength and the best part of you to. Anything that ain't God is a golden calf. So now you see that what happened here to the children of Israel, we're not just talking about them. There was a graven image, but we also have our own. Oh, let me take you deeper into this thing as I close. Let me take you deeper. This is why it is paramount and why it is imperative for God's people to know who their God is. Can I take you deeper? I'm almost done. Chris, where in the world, you're a Bible teacher, where in the world did the golden calf came from?